If you're like most marketers, your biggest challenge isn't whether or not you have data sitting somewhere in your organization that could be used to make better decisions, but rather how easily and quickly you can gain meaningful insights from the data and what tools you have to help. Welcome to One Amazing Thing About Contentsquare. Today we're talking with Lucie Buisson, Chief Product Officer at Contentsquare, and she will be sharing not one, but two amazing things about Contentsquare, the sense and session replay summaries features on their platform. Lucie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, looking forward to talking about this with you. Why don't we, before we dive in and take a look, why don't we start with you giving a little background on you and your role at Contentsquare?
Yeah, of course. So maybe I can start like 2 words about Contentsquare so everybody knows what we're talking about. So Contentsquare is an experience analytics solution. So we are gathering a lot of experience data for our customer. It's like the lifetime value data, the behavioral data, the survey data, and we are making all those data available for our customers so they can better understand what's engaging, what's frustrating in their user journey on their website, app, and digital property in general. So you might know the Hotjar brand or the Heap brand is two acquisitions we've done in the last three years, So that gives you like a little bit of sense of what we're doing. I'm a Chief Product Officer at Contentsquare. I've been with the company for 11 years. So when I started, it was very small, It was 10 people in a very small apartment in Paris. You can hear in my French accents, it's a French company. And now we are like 1,600 everywhere in the world, And what's funny is that I started on the customer success side. And at that time, Contentsquare did not have a product team. Our CEO was dealing directly with our CTO. And they asked me to create the product team. So that was like 6 months after I started. And we started 4 people. And now we are about 100 in the product team. And like total in engineering, product, and design at Contentsquare, we have about 500. So that gives you some perspective and numbers.
Yeah, wow. And so going from 10 employees to over 1,000, that's that's probably the topic of a whole other show as well, but that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting because things change so much, when you have this kind of scale. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So today you're going to walk through two amazing things, chat with sense and session replay summaries. So before we take a look, why don't you start by giving a high level explanation of the features and why you chose them and who the audience is and why that's important to them.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. We call it Sense. Sense is all our AI capabilities, in the platform. And so the two capabilities I'm going to show today is Chat with Sense and Replay Summary. Chat with Sense, what it does, it's really like your assistant. It's very close to what you're used to doing with, I don't know, ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you're using. You ask a question in plain language, and then what Chat with Sense is doing is that it's going to identify what is the right data sets, what are the right parameters, for instance, the segment you need to apply. Then it's going to identify which visualization is the most appropriated for what you're trying to do, and then it's going to show you that visualization, explain what you should know, and give you insight and next steps. So basically, something that used to take, 5 to 20 clicks in the platform, now is just a simple question, which means that if you are not used to using the product, you are not like a super expert in the product, you can now come with your use case, being super outcome centric, just ask questions to the platform, and the platform is going to answer for you. So that has a dramatic impact on adoption, as you can imagine, because you don't have to learn the product, you don't have this steep learning curve, And now you can also trust the insights, because we had a lot of customers saying, I don't know if I can trust my own interpretation of the data, and that was creating a lot of analysis paralysis. Yeah. And then the second part, which is also part of Sense, is the replay summary. Like we know how session replay is the visualization of what your customer are doing. It's extremely powerful, because you see your customer struggling live, but it can be also extremely consuming because you have to watch session. And so far we are measuring that we are able to save our customer 4,000 hours every week, wow, just through this capability, because they don't have to watch hundreds of replay. We are giving them the summary, and then we are pointing them to the exact moment in the replay that they should see, But I'm going to show you that.
Nice. No, I'm excited. Yeah, let's take a look here. Why don't you share your screen?
All right, I'm going to do that. All right. So I was telling you, how you want to start with a question, right? So for instance, what has changed in user journey in the last week? So it's a very broad question, and without Sense, you would have to make a plan, try to understand what is the best module in order to analyze that, what are the segments, and etc. So you have to know the product very well. What Sense is doing here is that it's going to, he's taking in charge the navigation, is bringing us directly in the user journey analysis that is showing you all the steps of the journey, and is directly creating a comparison between last week and the week before. And then it's telling you what you have to know. And so let's have a look at it. It seems that our homepage is doing better. Checkout is doing better. And overall, we have more and more people converting, So it's not every morning. It's not every Monday mornings that you come to you come to work and you have only good news. But right, sometimes it's good, to have good news. But we're not going to stop here, We have a better conversion, but we are never optimizing. So the next thing I want to do is to say, okay, I want to see session of customers who are not completing and not.
Okay. Yeah.
To try to understand what can we do next. So I'm just asking him, and again, he's going to analyze my request. So I want to see session. I want to see no order completed. So it's going to bring me directly into the session replay. So I don't have to navigate the product myself. And then it's giving me the replays that have not completed the order. You see, it has set up the goal directly from me. And then I don't want to watch all those replays. You see, this one is 4 minutes. A lot of them are 4 minutes. I don't have time to do that. So I'm just going to ask him to summarize all those replays. And you see, immediately it's going to tell me what are the main issues we can see. So we have a loading time issue. We have navigation difficulties. I'm particularly interested in those API because I want to share those API errors with my engineering team. So here you see, we have identified the API error. If I click here, I can see the exact moment when the error is happening. This is what my engineering team is going to be able to do. And they're also going to be able to see what was the header and body of that error so they can get to the root cause very quickly. But before I do that, I want to know how significant those issues are. I don't want to share with them if it doesn't have any impact. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask Sense, do an impact analysis on these API error. So here what it's telling me, is that is giving me an analysis of the bounce rate. You see that the bounce rate is much higher for this cohort. So I'm into something, In other situations, it's going to be able to give me the exact number of conversions that were missed because of the API error and a dollar value. So that's I know that I'm onto something. It's an important issue. So now I'm going to share with my engineering team. And the last thing I wanted to show you is other kind of analysis that you can do, So now we know how we can continue improving conversion, but I also want to just launch a new email marketing campaign, and I want to understand how this email marketing campaign is performing. Yeah. So we're going to say, show me the funnel after the email marketing campaign. And so here is going to think again, and you can be also, you can be very specific. I don't know if you had like 3 email marketing campaign going on. You can just name the marketing campaign, and it's going to segment on that specific marketing campaign. So what he's done now is that he has creating a funnel on his own. It's showing me the visualization for the funnel. And here again is going to explain to me what's happening and what I should focus on, And I'm going to stop the demo here because I don't want to keep you for too long. But the next step could be to say, okay, I see that everybody's dropping between home and PDP. We could launch a survey to try to understand why a customer did not click in the homepage. And so like this, you can bring qualitative data on top of all the quantitative data we've seen.
Yeah, this is really powerful. And so, yeah, I mean, I think the thing that strikes me is just the ability to do that root cause analysis, right? Of, you have an idea that something is not performing, but to really understand it, to your other point, to save hundreds, if not thousands of hours of watching things. And then even if a human were to do that, they'd still, we have our own biases and what we're seeing and what we pay attention to versus
Exactly.
having this analysis seems really powerful.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Like what we keep hearing from our customer is, I don't know where to start. I know the problem I have. I know the question I want to ask, but I don't know where to start in the product. And then they say it takes too much time to do the analysis. I have my leadership meeting Monday morning, 10 a.m. every morning. I don't want to spend my Sunday night doing that,
Right.
And then they say, okay, I see all those data, but I'm not sure about what is the main action, what is the most critical issue. And Sense is really solving all of them, because it's like a game changer in terms of time. Every customer talk about that. It's a game changer in terms of telling you where to start. You don't have to think about it. And finally, it's a game changer in terms of giving you trust and confidence into the data.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, thanks so much for sharing this, Lucie. What's coming next for Sense? I mean, lots of exciting stuff already, but what's coming down the pike?
So what we're working on right now, when we are almost ready to open beta to our customer, is the next step, which is to have an AI analyst within the platform. What we want to do is that today we are a tool for a product for our solution for our customer, and we want to become a colleague. So basically, the same way that you would ask an analyst in your team, okay, analyze the checkout funnel for me, my last email campaign for me. We are working on a true agentic workflow that is going to create different steps and give you like a set of recommendations. So for instance, make your wish list, highlight your wish list, or change your product description, and then from those recommendations that the agent is doing, goal is to create agent to agent communication with an experimentation tool, for instance. So Contentsquare is telling you, highlight your wish list, and then you go in your experimentation platform and you launch the test, and what used to take, 2 weeks to do the analysis, create the test, launch the test, and etc. now can be a 5-minute loop. So it's really, really speeding up the action loop for our customer.
Yeah, that's exciting. Well, yeah, can't wait we'll have to have you back on the show to talk through that stuff too. But well, thanks again for joining. I know, we only had time to look through a couple of features here today. If someone's interested in learning more, what's the best thing for them to do?
Our website and our blog, so contentsquare.com, are a really good place to start. We also have our flagship event coming up 30 of September, so 30 of September in New York. So I invite everybody to join and register to that event. We're going to share much more about our product, but also have our customer and partner talking about how they create amazing experience for their customer.
Wonderful. Well, again, I'd like to thank Lucie Buisson, Chief Product Officer at Contentsquare, for joining the show. You can learn more about Lucie and Contentsquare by following the links in the show notes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.